What is going on, people? My third time trying to make this video, but no matter what, this is it. This is my end-all, be-all video. I'm not going to try it again. So, if you couldn't tell by the title, I'm here for more of a discussion than anything. Kind of like a review, I guess, of the, if you couldn't tell by the title, it's going to be on Stranger Things, not only Season 3, but the whole series as a whole so far, and pretty much why I think Season 3 is the best so far. I think it kind of goes in reverse order. I like Season 3, then Season 2, then Season 1. Not saying that Season 2 or 1 are bad by any means, but me as a movie watcher, as a fan of, not huge fan of TV, so there's only certain shows I like. And when I do watch a TV show, I kind of bring my movie mind into watching TV, if that makes any sense to you, which I'll try to explain a little bit as I go through my explanation of why I think, what I think of each season and why I think Season 3 is the best so far. I'm doing this because I see a lot of people not arguing, but everybody has their own opinions on each season, why they think each is the best, and why they think each one could be a little bit better than the other one. Or anyway, I'm going to tell you why I think Season 3 is the best. I'll go from 1 to 3, and then I'll explain why each one kind of caught me, and why I like them so much, and then why I think 3 is, I think it's a little bit, 1 and 2 are like here, 3 is like up here. Just, I don't know what, but I'll kind of explain it to myself as well. Maybe I'll figure out why I like Season 3 so much as I go through this review. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, Stranger Things is on Netflix. Stars, Millie Bobby Brown, and you got, now I'm trying to think of everyone who I'm trying to explain. Finn Wolfhard and all them, the young kids that are, I think this is going to definitely blow their career sky high. I think a lot of people are going to want to work with them because that's why I think I like the series so much so far, is because you feel for a lot of the characters, and that's a lot because of the acting. So each character you kind of feel for, you either like them a lot or you dislike them a lot. I don't think the acting can get any better. Some people disagree with me. They say as the seasons are getting more and more, the acting's kind of diminishing, which I think is I think differently. I think it's getting better and better and better. But like I said, I'll get into that. So let me start with Season 1. Actually, before I start, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, definitely go ahead and hit that like button. And of course, if you want to see more stuff from me, hit that little bell button so you know when I do upload more stuff. Cheap little plug for my own little channel. Anyway, let me get into Season 1. Season 1, the reason why I liked it so much is, I guess the reason why I liked it so much, and maybe not as much as the other two seasons, I'll explain. Season 1 kind of reminded me, if you could take two movies, like I said, I take my movie mind and into the TV shows that I watch, and I kind of think of a movie, think of a genre, whatever, and kind of put that movie into the TV show. So let me explain. When I watched Season 1 of the Stranger Things, it had a Goonies or Stand By Me feel, and if you take those movies and you kind of insert X-Files and you kind of put those together, that's what Season 1 kind of reminded me of. Kind of reminded me of an X-Files meets Goonies kind of deal. Not a huge sci-fi fan, to tell you the truth. For those of you who check my reviews and such out, you can tell I'm more of a horror fan. Sci-fi really isn't my thing. I don't know why, I just never got into it. So I think that's why, like I said, I love the first season of Stranger Things, but I think I don't like it as much as the other two because of the fact that it's more of a sci-fi. You don't get really, every once in a while you get a little bit of scares and stuff with Demogorgon and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's not really horror in my aspect. In my mind, it's more of a sci-fi thriller. Like I said, Goonies type action type deal for me. For those of you who haven't seen it, I don't want to go, like I said, too deep in anything. You're not going to get many spoilers, but I'm just kind of break down what I think of the season. And if if you don't know what Stranger Things is, I guess stop it now, stop the video, because I'll mention stuff, but it's not going to be spoilers. I'll kind of just review pretty much. First season is revolved around a young kid, Will. A group of friends, and one of the young kids named Will kind of goes missing, and you find out that he is, later on in the season, you find out that he is not presently with us. There is this thing called the Upside Down, where it's another type of world and stuff, and then you get creatures and stuff that are from this world that are now trying to come into ours. You get a young girl who has powers. Horrible trying to explain it, but I don't want to ruin anything for anybody who hasn't seen it. But pretty much it's trying to save this young kid from this world, and these monsters are trying to stop them, I guess you want to call it. It's got, like I said, Winona Ryder, David Harbour, a whole bunch of people that have been in stuff but never the huge stars. So I think that's a really good attribute, that now they're becoming huge stars, I guess you want to call it. Like, they were relatively no names in the beginning, but now everywhere you turn, you hear these names. I think that's that's why I think the acting and stuff is becoming big, and the show is becoming so big, is because they're really good at what they do. So that's pretty much the first season. Like I said, it has that sci-fi vibe to it. Again, not the biggest sci-fi, so I think that's why season 1 is lower on my list. Some people say it's the most well put together and such, but that could be true. But again, myself, just don't have that vibe. The second season, I was wondering what they were going to do, because I didn't know if it was going to be, from the name, I didn't know if it was going to be one of those like American Horror Story type deals where you had a separate storyline in each of the seasons that were coming along, or they were going to keep the same storyline going until the end of season 1, and then I figured it out. Most likely they were going to keep the same storyline going. I was wondering what they were going to do, how they were going to change it, but to tell you the truth, they stepped up the game. It felt more adult, I guess you want to call it too. Not only that, but being a horror fan, and you got a little bit more gore, a little bit more, the second season was definitely more thrilling than the first. The thing that I noticed, maybe it's just in my own head, and I pull things out differently than other people, but with the next two seasons, season 3 and season 2, you get certain characters in there, and the season, I guess, seeing those characters and bringing back the nostalgia for me, watching the season kind of pulled from movies that they were in, and I don't know if that's what they were going for, or it's just me who sees it this way or whatever, but Sean Astin joins the crew of the Stranger Things. Him, you also get the only reason I say Sean Astin is because I forget his character name in the second season. Horrible. But Sean Astin joins, and then you get Max and Billy, who are two new characters who add to the whole storyline. They bring a whole different narrative and a whole different feel to the second season. That's why I think I like the second season a little bit more. Not only that, but you do, like I said, get a little bit more of the gore action and stuff, and horror. It started feeling more of a horror TV show than a sci-fi, and again, that's just me. I like horror more than sci-fi. But anyway, with Sean Astin, like I was saying, kind of brought a more of a Goonies vibe. The thing that I remember from the Goonies that kind of reminded me of the Stranger Things is that one scene in Goonies where they're upstairs and they're trying to figure out clues to find, One-Eyed Willie and stuff, and then you found out about Chester Copperpot and stuff like that, and they were upstairs and they're doing all this sleuth work. Well, in the second season, again, if you've never seen anything, this might be a little spoiler, but second season, at that one point where they're trying to figure out what's going on with the whole town, and they figure out there's a whole system and everything. That kind of just brought that whole Goonies, again, it's might just be me, but it brought that one scene back, and it threw it in my face. So like I said, the second season again kind of had more build to the story. You found out a little bit more about Eleven and everything else, so the story grew from that, and I think that's why I like the second season more than the first. Again, some people were complaining or saying that the story's getting old, you should have changed up the story, but to tell you the truth, I think it added to that, and it just added a different layer to season one. Now season 3, I'll talk a little bit more into depth with season 3, because to tell you the truth, it's definitely my favorite season, because again, they added more characters who I think their energy and stuff, each one's a little bit different than the other one. One of my favorite story arcs, and I think the story arc that kind of trumps everything else, I think Billy's story arc in season 3 is definitely like not end all be all, but kind of the best story arc out of the whole series so far. In my opinion, I think that's the best. But then you add Erica, who I think adds a comedy aspect. You got Robin, who adds her own little spark. I must say, I them two definitely kind of vaulted season 3. Then the addition of them two, not only is it them, but they definitely helped. Like I said, Billy's story arc definitely was more. But the main thing, like I said, which having Sean Astin kind of reminded me of the Goonies, having Carrie Elways, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I can't even think now. But having him in this season, like I said, brought Princess Bride to my head. And to tell you the truth, with Princess Bride, you watch that movie and it just harps on every single genre of anything you can think of. Like there's a meme where you have a picture of well, at that point, Dread Pirate Roberts, but of course it's Wesley. You have a picture of him, and all it says is Princess Bride. You can watch at any given time, and on the bottom it's listing like, I want to see a whole action movie. Princess Bride, I want to see a comedy movie. Princess Bride, I want to see this. And in Princess Bride, you get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of horror with the big rat and whatever, but then you get some comedy, you get some action, you get some love story, you get a little bit of everything in that movie. And in this season, you get a little bit of everything in Stranger Things. It has throughout the series, you had your comedy where the young kids go off and do their own things, and it's funny. You get your love story. There's a lot of love going on in between. You get a lot of action in this season, definitely from I was about to say something, I didn't want to spoil anything, but you get a lot of action in this. Definitely more gore and disgusting stuff in this season, rather than more than the other ones. They're more adult, so you get a lot more swearing in this one. But it's just, I don't know, it's just that kind of topped it off for me, being the best. Not only with the different genres getting hit, and I definitely dug it, but also, like I said, with some of the story arcs, with the new characters added in, and on top of that, Billy's storyline, I think, is definitely the best out of the whole series. Just him and the acting, definitely, I watched and I was like, it was very powerful. And then of course, like if you look at the other seasons, like the finales, they were good, but this season finale definitely trumped, I think, this season. But with everything that was going on, it was hit me in the feels more than anything else. The other two season finales for sure. And there's one scene, I must say, that is definitely I don't want to say out of place. I think it's like perfectly put in there. Went a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but it definitely was one of those things where such a tense moment, and then they throw this little lob at you, I guess you want to call it. But definitely a fun scene at the end of it. If you haven't seen it, of course, definitely go ahead, check it out. But I've been actually watching that on YouTube on loop a couple times. They have a 10-hour version of it. Definitely didn't watch that fully, but it's definitely at that point in time. I think it needed a little bit like a tense breaker, I guess you want to call it. Like the scene was very intense, and then this little scene popped in there, and it kind of broke the ice a little bit. And I don't know, I like that scene. But anyway, like I said, the whole season finale I think definitely was very powerful in this season as opposed to the past couple. So I think that's another reason why I like season 3. And I just overall it just hit me more as a movie fan, I guess you want to call it. Like I said from the beginning, I take my movies and I kind of impose them into the TV I watch. So I guess as a movie fan and such, it kind of dictated my why I like this season more. But yeah, that's some of the reasons why I like season 3 more than the last couple. I want to know what you think, so if you want, definitely go ahead, comment in the comments what you think. If season 3 is your favorite, if you think 2 is your favorite, or the first one is your favorite. I want to know why, or if or don't have to go into depth, but I want to know which way you would go. Like I said, 3, 2, 1 for me. If you're 1, 2, 3 or 2, 1, 3 or 2, 3, 1 or whatever, let me know in the comments. Or like I said, if you want to break it down a little bit more, let me know. If you want to make a video response, let me know too. I'm interested, and the only reason I'm interested is because Stranger Things is definitely my now go-to, I guess you want to call it, TV show. So I want to know what people think. So yeah, hopefully you liked this video. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that little bell button so you know when I do upload more. And I guess until next time, I'll see you guys.